Beluga, so they know that this red buff's going to be contested. We see the reaction almost immediately as Ziploc and Co. on the bottom side of the map go to steal away the enemy red buff.
Yeah, this is a very, very smart play coming out here, and it looks like we're going to be seeing a lane swap here. So Taric and Sivir are going to make their way up to the top lane, and Zamphira's life just got kind of awful. I'm not. This is kind of terrible because the Taric stun will set up a perfect boomerang blade and then auto attack, and then at least one ricochet auto attack as well to kind of follow all that up. And then once there's a shatter in on that, and that's so much burst damage that Zamphira, even hanging out under the tower, is going to get chunked again and again and again.
Yeah, Zamphira's not going to have the best of times in that top lane 1v2 matchup, but on the flip side here, we're also going to wind up having a Lissandra going into a solo lane matchup where she's going to be constantly harassed upon. She's going to be able to take a lot of damage from those Caitlyn long-range pokes, but Zaineking, the threat of the hook, the death sentence in literal terms, is going to be something extremely dangerous. And before we actually have Snuggle getting back to lane, there's a 3-man push on both sides of the map. Junglers trying to take down these outer towers as quickly as possible.
Yeah, we see vVv right now are trying to utilize Sivir's AoE to just nuke down the creep wave and just get as much push as they can. And they're just using Elise's zoning potential, plus the fact that Caitlyn is basically free to auto attack on cooldown the tower every single time. So this is interesting. Both these teams wanting to accelerate the pace of the game very, very quickly here.
Both junglers just wailing away in those towers. Top tower is going to wind up falling first for vVv as they were the initiators. Ziploc, though, and company on the bottom side here. He's Zaineking and nothinghere are going to make that tower absolutely nothinghere in just a short amount of time to respawn. But it's not letting up aggression on the top side of the map. And a big problem here for both teams is those solo laners on the top and bottom sides are still only level 1. So there's no ability to respond from this one until somebody decides to send someone else into that lane matchup. The first one to bite on this is going to be Cognitive, as they have both Thresh and Elise recalling after that tower went down to try to swap up here, but it might not be in time. It could be a 2-for-1 tower trade, getting a tier 2 at 4 minutes. Hook goes down on the PorpoisePops, so it's not going to do really anything right here. Like we said, Zamphira just hit level 2. Ziploc gets ignited. He goes extremely low. The repel comes, it has to flash away, but a flash in from Nocturne secures a kill. They're tower diving into the enemy base already. PorpoisePops takes down extremely low, not able to get a kill onto Zamphira, but he forces him away. iDream's going to lantern himself in here, but they're going to back away. First blood, 2 towers picked up for vVv.
I mean, it's just, they're abusing that Sivir wave clear. You saw Thresh step forward, excuse me, not Thresh, Nocturne would just throw out the Dustbringer, and then there was a Taric Shatter, and then there's a Boomerang Blade, and there was no creep wave anymore. I mean, that was pretty much all there was to it. And they just had so much web push. I mean, Riot looked at this style of play and said, we don't like what this does to the metagame. We're going to try to take this away so that there's actually a pretty good shot at having a laning phase. We're going to give towers armor. For the first 4 minutes of the game, they're going to get a massive armor buff, and then it'll start falling off until about the 8-minute mark, and then they're going to go back to having a normal amount of armor. We saw 3 towers go down by the 4.5-minute mark in this game. That, I mean, this is not a style of play that's been very popular of late, but man, oh man, did vVv make it look easy.
I mean, I don't want to necessarily draw this comparison because I know Twitch chat's going to hate me for it, but it's looking like a very Dota-esque push style.
Ooh.
Tri-lanes coming in and constant aggression being put down by a ranged carry type of champion to help clear out the waves with a ton of support. We talked about that Taric, how he can roam around the map and cause pressure in other lanes, but if you're going to bring the fights to him, that's going to capitalize on the strengths he does have. Now, his weaknesses are, of course, in a laning phase, he's very vulnerable to a lot of poke from range supports, from the enemy AD carries and such, but putting him in this tri-lane push and this very aggressive situation just preys upon all of the strengths that he brings to a team composition.
Absolutely, yes. We see Tails moving into the mid lane. They're trying to make this happen again. The Cocoon's going to land on a Godshu.
Oh, actually, the hook does land. Tails actually going to want to get Death Sentence upon, but Zaineking wants to even get dazzles to the face for it. That's the pressure from Taric. Fear comes out from Nocturne as well. A flash away comes, but in comes Snugglez. He wants to pop down the W for the AoE and roots him in place. Zaineking goes down for his troubles, and a Death Sentence works against Thresh in that kind of circumstance.
Oh man, this is vVv are just playing a group up and push lineup. They don't really care about getting that farmed at all. They just want to push the towers as quickly as they can. So they move up the Dazzle onto nothinghere. He's going to have to burn the cleanse immediately to get himself out of this one. And vVv, they're trying to get as much damage down as they can.
Yeah, nothing here's extremely low, so if they could just jump down. Look at CheesdBeluga flashing forward, forces the flash away from Caitlyn. He takes a lot of damage from trouble, but Godshu tanks up the tower with the heal from Taric. He's able to keep himself alive. What goes up must come down, and Ziploc gets deleted from the map right there. CheesdBeluga picks up a kill for his troubles. Nothing here gets taken down extremely low, but iDream comes up from the bottom lane. This could be cleanup duty for Nidalee. Cougar form goes down. That's a double kill for him, as he's just loving this buffet that's been given to him by vVv. Flash forward and a triple kill for iDream. Can he get the quadra? There goes the command protect. Pounces forward. Quadra kill for iDream. 7 minutes and 15 seconds into the game. iDream is 4-0 in one fight.
This is what you have to be careful of. When you go for a team composition that relies this heavily on pushing, that means, I mean, generally speaking, there's going to be 1 or 2 solo laners who are just around picking up a whole bunch of experience. And when a champion that can do that is Nidalee, who has that kind of mobility and that kind of damage output just off of turning into a Cougar, you have to be careful. You have to keep eyes on that Nidalee, and you cannot overextend when she leaves that solo lane and starts showing up. iDream, I mean, just, what do you even say to that? He just showed up and picked up a tremendous amount of gold. His team's going to move over here. They're going to grab the dragon, and with 4 kills, he's going to have about 2,200 gold hanging back, 2,300 gold maybe even, as he comes back out. But PorpoisePops wants to make something of this.
PorpoisePops wanted to maybe get into the Smite War, but he wasn't even envisioned for that one. Nothing here is going to wind up getting stunned up by Godshu. Command Protect keeps him alive. Lissandra comes over the wall, just deletes nothing here in that circumstance. Ziploc's extremely low. 2 kills come out, but 1 winds up being picked up by Zaineking for his troubles as well. Nidalee winds up getting the ride from Thresh Express out of that situation, but vVv, they turn around immediately. They lose the dragon, they lose the tower, but they pick up a 2-for-1 trade and keep the gold counts relatively even.
That was a big pickup for them. They had to get something back off of that because they couldn't just give away the dragon and then back away and not make anything happen there. After giving that quadra kill up and losing the tower in the mid lane, so much of this style of play is reliant on getting as much global gold as early as possible and just completely obliterating your opponents with all-out aggression that just never ever stops. And they hit a speed bump basically. But they were able to come back, they were able to pick up an extra kill on that engagement, and they were able to steal away the blue buff. These are very, very important things for vVv.
Now, one of the key things from that turnaround here for vVv was the fact that Lissandra was level 6, whereas Rumble was still level 5. By pushing down the 2 top towers and forcing Rumble back to heal in his base at level 2, Lissandra was still able to get experience despite being pushed down upon. They forced Cognitive to respond and recall. So we had Lissandra in a 1v1 with Caitlyn for a point in time, turning into a 1v1 with Nidalee, and after hitting level 6, Lissandra rotated up towards that mid lane and forced that original fight to begin with. So having the ultimates available from their side on key team fight targets is helping vVv basically stay even in that sense of the game, despite giving a quadra kill away to iDream extremely early. Now that Zamphira has that equalizer available, they have to be extremely careful because now the experience that they got from those fights is starting to turn in favor of Cognitive.
This is going to be rough, and Tails is in a bad position here. Here's the 3-man top lane.
Well, there's an equalizer coming in. Godshu just gets absolutely burned to a crisp right there. Tails is going to have to flash away after popping his own ultimate, and that's the problem that we talked about. Cognitive, they have slight experience advantages on certain characters now, and they're going to try to abuse as much as possible. Tails runs into nothing here, but not going to have enough damage there, as they do have PorpoisePops coming up from that middle area to try to support his AD carry and force the enemy team back. However, all they have to do is wait for minions right here now, because there's 4 members strong from Cognitive against only 1 member of vVv to defend this top lane tower.
Alright, so in the split push lane right now, if it is iDream going up against Get Snuggled, it's Athene's Unholy Grail Nidalee versus Double Doran's Ring Amped Home Lissandra. That is, I mean, iDream is more than a little bit terrifying in that situation. So Get Snuggled is going to have to be very, very cautious about how he plays this one out. Does have the teleport. It's not off cooldown just yet, but it will be up in just a couple of minutes here. So if he gets himself into too nasty of a situation, he can always get back out, hop back up to the lane with the teleport, and be not too much the worse for wear.
Well, we're going to have to see if the teleport's going to come into effect in enough time, because even though they traded tower for tower, they still have numbers advantage on the side of Cog. We have the paranoia going in. PorpoisePops flashes forward. Is he going to be able to get a Dustbringer off onto Caitlyn? No, he already wound up using it in that circumstance. Rev up is being applied to Ziploc right now. Now CheesdBeluga flashes forward. Command Shockwave secures the kill on nothing here. Ziploc now getting taken down by a combination of Tails and PorpoisePops. speeds the kill over to Tails, the AD carry, as well as gives him that passive speed boost. A stun from Taric and an execute there from Orianna, pick up a kill, and it's just chaos as these chases, as these fights continue to go in a seesaw motion, this time for vVv.
This is such a high-tempo game. I mean, the pace of the game was accelerated so much by all those towers going down early on. You look at this, it's like, we're 12 minutes into the game. Sivir has completed cooldown reduction boots, a pickaxe, and a longsword. Like the items are just not there out of these AD carries at this point. Even though so much of the map is so open, it's making champions like Nocturne really terrifying, who just get so much effectiveness out of his kit alone. As long as there's space for him to chase you down, keep casting Dustbringer, get a couple of fears off, it's really, really horrifying to deal with.
Yeah, and it's actually a point to be reckoned with, is the fact that Sivir going for those cooldown boots, she's not going for a necessarily full-on carry build, let's get the auto attacks as many as possible, Berserker's Grease to the attack speed bonus, but rather she wants to have her abilities up as quickly as possible. Spell Shield, the ultimate so the team can go in. She's using her utility as an AD carry to its utmost efficiency by going for those cooldown reduction boots first, and then going for the damage later. And that has, like you said, let Nocturne pick up 2 kills. Let Orianna, with a very powerful base damage on that level 1 command Shockwave, come out ahead with 4 kills of her own. And it's a very team-oriented game for vVv. Whereas on the flip side for Cognitive, every single early game kill had gone to iDream. So he is the sole person with heavy itemization from Cognitive, and he's been split pushing against Lissandra in a solo 1v1 matchup the entire time.
So Godshu comes down with the boots of mobility, does get the cleanse off of nothinghere, but that's going to be all they get out of that one, as that might be enough. Dragon's going to be coming back up in 40 more seconds. If they can keep nothinghere hesitant about coming back into this one, it could be pretty good for them. But the thing they're going to have to watch out for is that iDream has supplemented that cooldown reduction, he's supplemented that mana regeneration, he's picked up a needlessly large rod. So he has insane amounts of damage right now. Those javelins are going to be chunking people down so hard.
And so that's one thing they have to be very wary of, is the amount of damage that iDream can put upon them with those spears. This last outer tower up for Cognitive is the target right now for vVv, and they're swarming around it like a cluster of bees, but those spears chunking out wherever they go is going to deter their aggression for the time being. We see actually Snugglez getting down extremely low. Ace in the hole comes out, it's actually going to be blocked up right there, not a lot of damage going down, but here's the potential power of Cognitive. The Equalizer went down. Command Shockwave is used for disengage right there, locking up 3 members of Cognitive. It looks like that vVv wants to turn, but they know their health bars are chunked down too low. They're going to have to disengage and potentially give up a dragon to Cognitive.
And that's iDream. He landed 3 clutch javelins in a row there. He's been a sniper with those, and that's what they need to do. They need to rely on his strength right now. They need to rely on taking key members of vVv low so that they cannot continue this insanely aggressive style of play where they just group up as 5 and take things away from you. If they cannot do that, then the advantages that they built for themselves early on will be, I mean, just very, very superficial. Like Cognitive are in a situation where they can very easily come back and continue abusing this situation, get themselves right back into this game.
The Lantern's right there. Ziploc wants to take it, but he's baiting for the 5 members strong of his own team. But his ward over there is going to be cleared up by an Oracle's Elixir, and vVv, they're just not taking the bait. Snugglez is away in top lane, but the teleport is now available, so he can come in and make this a full-on 5v5. One thing they don't have, though, is the command shockwave from CheesdBeluga. He used it for disengage in the last little chase segment, so it's not going to be available for this fight. But on the flip side, Zamphira is not going to have that the Equalizer available for himself either. So this isn't necessarily a team fight situation, it's a siege coming down. And when you look at the team compositions, Caitlyn, Nidalee, Thresh, they have a lot of siege potential from the side of Cognitive.
That said, vVv have a lot of answers to these Nidalee javelins. Tails has now spell shielded 2 of them coming back out. The other one got tanked up by CheesdBeluga, but he command protected it. So they didn't really take a whole lot of damage from this one, and they bought a whole lot of time for Get Snuggled to pick up farm. Get Snuggled now leading in CS across the map with 124 CS, as he's just been able to shove this back in and start getting more damage down onto that tower, which, by the way, saw its first point of damage at like the 2-minute mark. I'm just gonna say 2. I know that's not accurate. I don't care. That's how fast it was.
It's close enough. I mean, those towers wound up going down at 4 minutes and 30 seconds, which is before the armor buff that was applied to them originally to stop those pushes is gone. So just going down extremely, extremely quick. Bottom lane, though, the pressure from vVv hasn't been let up. Equalizer came up and immediately was used to clear out a wave to deter the aggression. So now we have vVv knowing that that Rumble ultimate is down and having their own Orianna shockwave available within the next window of a minute or so. They know that if they take a fight that they will have an AoE superiority on their side, but it looks like that CheesdBeluga and Snugglez right now are just content to continue to rack up their own farm. Like you said, pushing the boundaries of CS on this map right now. 128 for Lissandra, 126 for Orianna, and the only one coming close is iDream at 120 for Kyle. Oh, actually, they're going to want to go in. Yeah, they actually wound up stunning down the iDream. There's the paranoia being popped. Lissandra comes in as well with the claw, but not in range is Nocturne. So Godshu's in a little bit of a weird spot right now. Command Protect winds up going down. CheesdBeluga flashing, not even flashing, but just going in. Command Shockwave, well, that's used for disengage once again to take Cognitive away from their support. Flash in the cocoon from Ziploc's not going to land true on anybody as that spider just went flying forward for some reason. I don't know if that was a bug on my screen or what, but the spider just flew right back into the team. So, very interesting series of events right now as the siege continues for Cognitive on this bottom tier 2 tower, as that's down below half HP now, and the Spears and the Peacemakers are trying to force vVv back.
Tails clutch spell shields again to get CheesdBeluga. Taking out. Wait, CheesdBeluga isn't there. He's run away. It was someone else that got hit. I saw someone get hit by a javelin. I looked at CheesdBeluga's HP and he was at nothing, and I just kind of assumed that it was him. Sorry. But I mean, this is. They have to be so cautious about this one. This is a very difficult tower to defend when there's a Nidalee that's this fed roaming around the map. You have to watch out for javelins coming over the wall. You have to watch out for Elise just ducking back around here, just like we saw Captain Ziploc trying to do, trying to land a cocoon, trying to get some sort of situation where Zamphira can drop an equalizer and they can initiate. Just like that, Cognitive take the tower lead for the first time this game. They lead 4-3. They're only down 200 gold right now. I mean, they had a lot of difficulty dealing with the early aggression, but now they have to be feeling a lot more comfortable about their position.
Well, the one thing they have on their side is a Caitlyn who is extremely good at sieging down towers. However, as we're cresting the 18.5-minute mark right now, Caitlyn does have that little bit of a mid-game lull. So this could be an opportunity for vVv to try to capitalize on a certain timing here. Orianna and Nocturne, like you said, they have very high base damages themselves, and as everybody on the map is very well below their target CS mark, they're not going to have the same itemization that they would normally have that point in time. So here comes the engage from vVv. Command Shockwave goes down. The Equalizer goes up to try to separate them. Godshu charges into the fray. He winds up giving up his own life so Sivir can pick up a kill. The Thresh box comes in, but so does Lissandra. Double kill off the side of that one. Flash roar from Tails forces the flash out of Zamphira. Chasing down, gets hit by one Electro Harpoon. So I don't know if they're going to wind up chasing down still. There is the distance to try to apply a little bit of speed for Tails. Still trying to chase after Zamphira. They're going on another Benny Hill wild chase here. Snugglez going to wind up flashing over that wall there. Gets slid up by the Electro Harpoons. Can he put down the shard to try to slow Zamphira? Gonna close the gap with the claw. Winds up rooting him in place. And Tails picks up another kill for himself. vVv take the fight.
That's vVv. I mean, I don't even know what to say about these fights, honestly. CheesdBeluga is finding great command shockwaves and just using them to pick up any sort of advantage he can. If he sees a group of people just standing too close together, he's just going to use the shockwave and just chunk them down as hard as he can and see if they can force anything out. Godshu got maybe a little too hyphy there on the hunt. He gave him so much move speed. He just kind of ended up getting himself right into the middle of the enemy team before the rest of his team kind of followed up on that one. But Zamphira, I mean, the equalizer wasn't the greatest positioning. He tried to use it to cut the team off and keep them from being able to initiate, but it didn't necessarily cut the lane in half the way that he wanted it to. And once Get Snuggle came back in and just dropped that frozen tomb, there was so much damage coming out here. We see another stun going down on the iDream. He's going to be able to get himself out of this one.
Yeah, it looked like almost like deja vu as another fight towards this tier 2 mid tower for vVv was about to unfold, but Cognitive realized that without Zamphira in the area, they can't really take a 4v5 engagement. Zamphira has joined back up, but his Equalizer is not available. Command Shockwave is up, and there's about 5 seconds to fight here if they want to have one ability over the other one, but it's not going to wind up happening here. So now, Thresh Box is going to be back up, the Equalizer is going to be back up, and these Spears chunking away on the side of vVv. So far, it's been a seesaw kind of fight, and Command Shockwave misses right there. PorpoisePops wasn't actually able to land down, but Tails still picks up the kill on Caitlyn here. Equalizer goes down, Frozen Tomb used on Get Snugglez to keep himself alive in that situation. Godshu goes forward, sacrifices himself to the iDream God, but there's another kill picked up there for vVv. Tails as he gets a double kill for himself. Flash up from PorpoisePops here, trying to chase down the iDream. Chasing a Nidalee is not the best thing in the world. Spell Shield does wind up landing on the spear, so no damage is dealt, and the cocoon winds up missing from Ziploc. So now vVv, they're the ones pressuring a tier 2 mid tower on Cognitive side of the map now. Zamphira's gonna overheat over here. No equalizer available. He did use that in the last fight. Flame Spitter, though, is gonna be enough to deter vVv for now. Half HP down on that tier 2 mid tower.
These lanes are so long at this point that the Sivir ultimate is very quickly becoming one of the best spells in this game. Whenever they have On the Hunt available, they're able to just chase down so incredibly far. I mean, in these situations, the kite is what's going to keep your team alive. So they have the box, they have the equalizer, they have Nidalee who can throw a spear and then go into Cougar form and just pounce back out. So if they have On the Hunt available to them, they're able to cut all of that out and keep themselves right in this fight and keep the engagements going. You see that they're so bloodthirsty that even their AD carry is trying to chase people down as junglers are flashing behind towers, stuff like that, trying to chase people down and get kills, rather than focusing on towers. And I feel like that's the one area where they need to temper their aggression a little bit. Is the beginning, the early game, they were completely focused on objectives, and that was what got them a pretty decent lead. They need to maintain that discipline, they need to maintain that focus, and instead of trying to chase down carries behind towers, stuff like that at the end of fights, just have Sivir start hitting the tower and just take those objectives away.
If they take the objectives, then the enemies are going to have no real area to fall back or nothing to really stay strong on once the game winds up going a little bit later on. We did see them capitalizing by taking a dragon after that one, so vVv going to be jumping out to about a 3,500 gold lead here. 14 kills to 8, like you said, their bloodthirstiness has definitely gotten them a bit more on the kill side, but they are still down by 1 tower, despite being the ones to originally initiate a 2-for-1 tower trade at sub 5 minutes into the game. Cognitive, they also haven't really let anything slip from them. They've constantly gone in and sieged it. Actually, PorpoisePops, once again, the command shockwave doesn't wind up landing down, but they just charge in a 5v3 situation. So Zamphira gets obliterated before the equalizer goes down. CheesdBeluga goes on a killing spree as he picks up a kill on Zaineking, and now it's a 5v3 for at least the next 25 seconds because 2 members of the side of Cognitive are down.
Oh, Godshu just barely not catching that javelin, so he's going to be able to keep the boots of mobility speed. We'll be able to get himself out of this one. Tail's going to re-engage.
Oh, Tails actually wants it going in, chasing down to Captain Ziploc. iDream has to keep pouncing away. Repel goes up. What comes up must go behind the enemy team here. Ziploc trying to get some jukes down for himself to get away from that one. PorpoisePops throws it, the Dustbringer. Good Cocoon's going to stop Godshu, but the command dissonance comes out as well as the command protect. Ziploc juking and jiving here is going to wind up surviving for a little bit longer. Heal comes out from iDream, but the stun from Taric wind up landing. Ziploc goes down extremely low, but vVv, in a rare moment, decide not to chase down for that kill.
And wow, Captain Ziploc just barely able to get himself out of this one. vVv, I mean, the bloodthirstiness. I know I brought this up before, but I can't get over it. They want these kills so badly. They're chasing for anything. They're chasing down Elise's so much so that like, even though there are 3 or 4 people and have multiple forms of CC and stuff like that between them, or have multiple ways to catch back up and be able to kill the Elise, they all go together because they all want to chase down the one person that they're trying to chase and get the kill. And that allowed Captain Ziploc to make that juke happen, and it's allowing Cognitive to be the ones to get tower damage down after losing a fight.
Yeah, Cognitive, like we said, they're committed to the siege and they're not letting that slip away. But the next 15 seconds is all they're going to get because PorpoisePops is going to have... Oh! Wow, Orianna just gets obliterated right there from a spear and an ace in the whole combination. And well, with that Orianna gone, I don't know if with that Paranoia being up now is going to be the wisest decision for vVv to go in. Having Orianna dead means that this tower is going to be all Cognitives. They're seizing it down, and that's going to be 5-3 in favor of Cog with the towers.
So you can see Orianna's corpse is still sitting there in what I like to call the chasm of despair. Whenever you walk between the tower and the wall, you set yourself up to tank those skill shots. And that iDream was just like, ace in the hole is about to land right here, and you're going to walk there? Okay, I know exactly where to put my javelin. And CheesdBeluga, he could have flashed away from it, but even then, the ace in the hole was going to get him very, very close. iDream just, I mean, on point with that javelin, and CheesdBeluga is going to be scratching his head as to why he put himself in that position.
Well, one of the favorite words in the challenger scene has been rotation, and that's what Cognitive do right there as they move up to the top lane and take down their 6th tower of the game. So despite vVv's aggression early on taking towers, they're behind right now. Godshu gets caught out once again. Tails gets hooked there by Zaineking. The box goes down in the middle of everything. Zamphira picks up the kill for himself. No equalizer available though, and vVv is collapsing down on this fight now. Nidalee Spear takes down Snugglez to extremely low amounts of HP. We do actually have an Aegis of the Legion, a Locket of the Iron Slaughter actually, picked up by PorpoisePops to shield up some more damage. So far it has been a 2-for-1 trade in favor of vVv. Dissonance goes out, flash away from nothing here. There is the Dustbringer coming out, a flash forward from both PorpoisePops and Tails pick up a kill onto Caitlyn. Nothinghere gets taken off the map, and that is another fight, 3-for-1 this time, going in favor of vVv.
Terrific Orianna ultimate again. Right now, the double AP composition, the AoE damage they're getting at the start of these fights is in a lot of ways carrying them through it. CheesdBeluga and Get Snuggle just bursting so many people down. Get Snuggle again and being rewarded with 2 kills for it. As he's going back, if he's going DFG, that will be a very interesting buy. The fact that it amplifies. No, he's going Morellonomicon instead. Okay. The DFG would have been pretty good too, because if he got it down in time before CheesdBeluga used his burst, like I don't think there's anyone that can stand up to that. There's no one that has that much HP and magic resist. That if you get the extra damage amplification onto what Orianna's doing as well, that's pretty darn terrifying. But we're not going to end up seeing that. Morellonomicon makes a lot of sense as well, because so much of what Cognitive are doing right now is based on Nidalee healing low health targets. So if Get Snuggled is able to use his AoE on someone who's below, what is it, 40% health is the cutoff? Yeah, 40% health. If you're below 40% health and you get that grievous wounds inflicted, Nidalee is not going to be able to save you and keep you alive in these fights anymore.
Yeah, having that heal kind of just diminish is going to be a massive effect on whoever iDream is going to be trying to save, because with 3 members flashing forward and chasing you down, if you're not being healed for 400 and maybe only being healed for 200, you're going to wind up dropping down to nothing after that one. So now it's up to Cognitive to try to respond to what vVv is doing. They have an Oracle's Elixir on Godshu, and right now, he's doing something he hasn't done for a little while, which is stay close to the team and clear out vision. Wards haven't been as important on this map, or as plentiful. Another Paranoia shotgun combo, not quite going out as planned, but they are going to wind up maybe taking out Zamphira here. No, he's still alive, buying enough time, forces CheesdBeluga to flash out of the fight. Tails gets 1, but Nothinghere gets another on the Godshu. Ziploc winds up going down as PorpoisePops gets the kill for himself. Snuggled comes in and gives the kill over to Sivir right there. It's a 3-for-1 trade in favor of vVv. I feel like I said that at least 6 times this game, Malthus. Snuggles trying to juke and jive right here. iDream chasing down on him, but he's going to decide not to chase after him. He wants to try to defend this inhibitor tower instead. A spear gets met by a spell shield, and, well, it sounds like an opening to the book right here as the opening to the inhibitor winds up going down. The mid inhibitor under siege from the power of vVv. They're going to get this one, and then they're going to potentially back away here from Cognitive's base. Now they want to back away from Cognitive's base.
Oh man, it took me like, okay, so I just did the thing where you just like smash your mouse into the corner of the screen. By the time I was able to click on CheesdBeluga, he had 20 health from that one. iDream, if he had just done the trick where you pounce away and increase the range, that would have been a kill. My goodness. You know, vVv, it seems like it's just a tradition for them now. They're just going to have CheesdBeluga get a little trigger happy on the shockwave, burn it a little bit early every single time, and then come out ahead in the fight anyway, even without that gigantic ultimate. As basically every time he's done the command protect onto PorpoisePops, they haven't gotten paid on it. But it doesn't matter, because they still find the targets that they need to get down. Zamphira, he ended up being alive a lot longer than anyone was kind of expecting him to, so he was able to stand and deal a fair amount of damage to the carries. But at the end of the day, vVv, just so much chase potential, so much damage output. Cognitive, they're struggling for answers.
Cognitive, their answers are very limited. The only thing they can really do is push back against vVv. But now in that mid lane matchup where they've done a lot of damage already, they're going to be pushing up against super minions. So it's going to be a disadvantageous situation for them if they so choose to siege. And Tails, now that he has an infinity edge and has picked up a lot of damage on Sivir, has taken down Zaineking low enough for PorpoisePops to come in and seal the deal. Now Command Shockwave is still available and the Paranoia is down. So we'll have to see how vVv handles this one. Now that that Orianna ultimate is available, but their patented initiation method is not yet up.
So we see Tails running up with the rest of the side. They did pop on the hunt as well. Get Snuggled is down in the bottom lane. Doesn't have teleport available, but he's going to be content just taking away towers as the rest of the team group up as 5 or 4, plus Taric kind of lagging behind. But he's got boost mobility. Here we assume. Here's the Equalizer.
Equalizer goes down, PorpoisePops is on the wrong side of the neighborhood, and that one Command Shockwave goes down, and that's a disengage attempt right there by vVv. They force Cognitive back into underneath their own tower and let PorpoisePops get out of their AOK. So they trade ultimate for ultimate on their mid lane matchup, and it looks like they're going to wind up backing away for the time being. However, in this entire time, Superman is pushing down towards the Nexus towers. Get Snuggled is in the bottom, taking 2 towers pretty much for free. No response to him. 6-0 and 5 on that Lissandra. And Malthus, remember, this is the first pick Lissandra they did to get it away for Zamphira, and it's definitely paying off for vVv.
they're having a terrific time. But 337 ability power is going to be enough damage onto the towers with the auto attacks to clean that one up, and so much wave push as well from the kit. And vVv, they respond to the split push. They put too many people down in the bottom quadrant of the map with no vision whatsoever on the Baron. vVv take that one away completely uncontested.
A free Baron for vVv, and like we said, with not that much vision on the map because it's just in constant chaos, they're able to sneak that one away, despite, you know, Lissandra being obviously on the side of the map all by herself. They were all just in top lane. They moved down to take the Baron, and it looks like Cognitive, they don't even know what's up right now. They're moving over here as a unit, going to put a ward over the wall, and now sad faces across the board for them as they realize that now the Baron is gone. They're at a 10,000 gold disadvantage. The tower lead, which is the one thing they had accumulated over vVv's aggression, has fallen down and is now back on the side of vVv Gaming. Baron buff acquired for their team means that I don't even know if Cognitive is going to want to team fight them at this point in time unless they're in their base underneath those towers.
This is... I'm really impressed with vVv's play this game. They've spread the map out. They've created so much space so that Sivir ultimate becomes the ridiculous threat that it is at this point, and they're consistently applying that pressure. They're using their Taric well, they're using their Lissandra extremely well, and the shotgun goes down!
Shockley goes down to iDream, he's forced to heal himself. PorpoisePops wants it going in, jumping on to Nidalee. In the meantime, Snugglez winds up just eviscerating Ziploc. We do want to see Caitlyn Rumble falling one after another. And even though Zaineking puts up a valiant effort and tries to take down Taric, he gets obliterated as well. Now it's just iDream against the world. vVv Gaming, our 4 members strong. Snugglez is just kind of baiting back and forth, forcing iDream to chase after him. While the bottom inhibitor tower goes down, the bottom inhibitor is exposed, and it's going to be 2 inhibs completely down for the side of Cognitive, and vVv in a really, really good looking position as they march onto these Nexus towers. Is it going to be enough to end the game? Those spears are being chunked out right here, and Ziploc is up in 7 seconds. GG comes out from the side of Cognitive, but iDream picks up a kill for himself. And the Nexus is now exposed. Ziploc is up, but there is home guard for him. Is it going to be enough? No, it's not. The Nexus goes down, and after a thrilling 33 minutes, vVv come out on top of Cognitive, pushing down towers early and pushing down the Nexus.
What an aggressive playstyle for them, just taking away so many early towers, accelerating the pace of that game. We saw AD carries were roaming around and finding themselves in little skirmishes where they just had like thorn blades and boots and stuff. We had cooldown reduction boots and long sword and with a pickaxe, stuff like that coming out from the side of Tails. Even though Tails was having a great time, but he ended up 9-1 and 15 on that Sivir. You take a look, the kill score ends up being doubled over for the side of vVv as they were just able to make these team fights happen again and again, even if they weren't getting the cleanest execution out of that paranoia shockwave combination.
And as we see vVv being able to show their aggression, take the victory here over Cognitive, getting a little bit of revenge for those spring promotion qualifier games that Cognitive actually took over them. Guys, that's game 3 of the evening, which means we have 1 more left for you. It's going to be Napkins and